Rosanna Pansino has responded to all the drama going on between her, Trisha, and Tana, and some of the things she had to say may surprise you. It's a mess, so let's get into it. I was about to say, it feels like all we've talked about this week is the Rosanna Pansino drama, and well, that's because all we've actually talked about this week is Rosanna Pansino drama. I never in a million years thought Rosanna would be in a public fallout situation with the likes of Tana Mongeau and Trisha Paytas, but here we are. I have multiple videos going over the entire timeline, so I'm not going to bore you guys with yet another complete breakdown, but pretty much last time we talked, Trisha had just responded to Rosanna's podcast, and she was pissed. She said they were no longer friends. She felt like Rosanna was attacking her for not wanting to go to downtown LA. She felt like she was invalidating Tana's situation with the whole scare actor thing. She was mad that Rosanna would even think she was ever making fun of her story with Tana about her dad's ashes. There were a lot of tears from Trisha, and overall, it seemed like there would never be any repairing that friendship.
Okay, well, is this friendship over then if we talk about them? And I was like, honestly, that was awful. Like, that was awful.
I just can't imagine that friendship being over because there's so, like, we've been to every birthday of the kid.
Well, last night Rosanna responded and she took a much different approach. The video is titled A Message to Trish and My Issue with Tana Mongeau, and right off the bat, Rosanna wanted to clear a few things up. A lot of people, including Trisha, felt like Rosanna was trying to chip away at Tana's credibility by pointing out all these exaggerations in her story when it came to the small things, in an attempt to make it seem like she was also exaggerating her interaction with a scare actor. Rosanna did say in her video that she chose to believe Tana, but when someone does lie and exaggerate the small details, it makes it more difficult to believe them when it comes to more serious issues.
Because when you tell a story where you're over-exaggerating so many things and lying about so many things, it makes it harder to believe you when it comes to serious things, because it destroys your credibility, it destroys your integrity.
In this new video, Rosanna wanted to clear up what she meant by that. She was trying to say that she still chose to support her and believe her. She explained how she's also dealt with similar experiences on set before, and she knows it's a thing that happens, and she wishes she did a better job at making her stance clear.
I believe Tana when she said that a guy said something inappropriate to her on set, like asked her on the set of Escape the Night. When she told me on set, I fully had her back and I said, I'm so sorry that happened to you and you should tell Joey. What he said to Tana was wrong, and him waiting until she was alone to say it is very telling that he knew that what he was doing was wrong. I'm proud of Tana for speaking up. She told me, she told Joey later that day on set. Like, no one deserves to be treated like that, especially on set. Everyone deserves to feel safe in a working environment.
She also pointed out that even though she believes Tana, she still didn't appreciate the things Tana did lie about in her story. For example, Tana was complaining about an outfit that she was wearing, saying that the wardrobe crew always puts her in some outfit, which kind of sounded like she was being forced to wear what she wore. Rosanna says that's not true at all. Wardrobe apparently had 5 different outfits for her that she could pick from, and Joey even gave them the option to bring something that they felt comfortable in from home. Rosanna said it's not fair to the crew to make them out to be these creepy people, putting the cast in revealing outfits against their will.
They put her in this outfit.
Of course I'm dressed like a I feel like this is always happening to me, where someone has me dressed like a
That was just not what happened. They were really nice people. They provided multiple options. So by slandering and saying they forced her to wear this, well, they don't have a big platform to speak up for themselves. When this movie comes out and the credits roll, their names are public, and people are going to associate them with doing things that they didn't do, and that's not fair to them. That's Tana making up stories that could negatively impact their livelihood.
Later on in the episode, Rosanna reiterated that 2 things can be true at the same time. She can believe Tana, but also call her out for slandering the crew.
I really want to emphasize that both of these things can be true. I think that it's wrong what happened to Tana. What that actor said and did to Tana is not okay. And I also think Tana slandering the entire crew and making up lies about them is not okay.
She didn't spend too much time on Tana's inconsistencies in her story and quickly moved on to the story about her dad's ashes. She said the way that Tana and her friends acted when they told the story on their podcast deeply hurt her because she thought they had a genuine friendship. She's invited Tana to her family birthday parties before, and then to just be reduced to some YouTuber who smoked their dad felt extremely hurtful.
And for her and Brooke and Paige to put it out there that it was illegal, insinuating that I'm a criminal and that I was a cannibal, completely devastated me. Like, I thought Tana and I were friends.
And I'm like, it's 9:30 in the morning and I'm downtown and this YouTuber is telling me about how they smoked their dead parent. And
Is that against the law?
That's like Canada.
I don't know, dude.
Way, shape, or form.
And I'm just like, geez Louise, what did I rope myself into, right?
And we have to remember, it wasn't just one podcast that Tana went on to tell this story. She told it multiple times on multiple different podcasts. It would be one thing if she had like a lapse of judgment and told the story insensitively once, but multiple times over and over again was a choice. Rosanna said she thinks she snapped because Tana and her two friends laughing about her personal story reminded her of another podcast that had three friends doing the same thing to her.
To me, that's a little bit over the top. Why wouldn't you just like roll one up and smoke it in his honor, I guess?
Yeah, you deserve to go to jail. This is a jail time thing for me. At what point does it come to your head, you know what? When I die,
Smoke me.
smoke me. Daughter.
That guy was a cult leader. 100%.
Some people are better off. I mean, it's just the truth. It might hurt some feelings, but you know, they just are.
They spread information and said what I did was illegal. It's not. They said my dad was a cult leader for doing this. They said he deserved to die. I understand that this is not a clip from Tana, but it's three friends, like her three friends sitting around, and they're saying something that's in the realm of these hateful people.
And while I agree with a lot of comments that said the story was shocking, which is why it got a lot of attention in the first place, I feel like that's why it was so important to Rosanna to tell her friends personally before the episode came out. The fact that Tana was even special enough to Rosanna for her to want to personally tell her, only for her to go and laugh and insinuate it's illegal and allow your friends to call her a cannibal, is pretty cruel. Tana could have definitely told her Escape the Night story perfectly fine without dragging Rosanna into it. Now let's move on to Trisha Paytas. Rosanna said that she has reached out to Trisha in private to apologize to her. Rosanna explained that she took Trisha's laughter as her agreeing with Tana's stance on Rosanna's story about the ashes, and she felt hurt, but now realizes that wasn't her intention.
I thought she agreed with Tana about being illegal and a cannibal, and I thought they were sitting together and laughing and making fun of me on her podcast. I believe her. I believe that she wasn't judging me or making fun of me. I'm not upset with Trish. I am upset with Tana.
She also wanted to make it clear that she did not know anything about what happened to Trisha in downtown LA when she called them out for shaming the area, saying that they hate going there. Rosanna said that she grew up in a really bad area and how it hurt her to see two people who have a great deal of privilege talk down on an area where people are not as fortunate as them.
I expressed to her that I grew up in a very poor area with a very high crime rate. And this is something that's sensitive to me too, because I was constantly talked down to and treated very poorly for much of my life because of it. So to hear people like Tana talk down about the people who live downtown, as in the rickets of LA, it just brought back a lot of hurt. To hear someone in a privileged position dehumanize people from those communities, like where I grew up, it triggers me.
She said it's fine to not want to go and visit a certain area because you feel unsafe. But where Tana crossed the line was saying that she hated working on Escape the Night because the cast seemed like they were from the rickets of LA. Rosanna felt like that was very dehumanizing, and some of the crew are her friends, so that really upset her. It does sound like Rosanna still deeply cares for Trisha and really wants to fix things with her. Although she did disagree with a few points that Trisha and Moses made. She didn't like Moses excusing Tana's exaggeration under the guise of, oh, it's just entertainment.
When she's talking about something so serious like sex, and then all the other things around it are exaggeration and lies, I think it just gets really messy, like messy's the water. And I think that it's fine to be entertaining and embellish things if you're telling a story maybe about like a Thanksgiving dinner with your friends, something more lighthearted, or you're out at dinner or out at a nightclub, or, you know, those things are very harmless. But when you're talking about on your friend's production set and you're slandering the rest of the crew, which can get them fired, they can lose their jobs, their livelihoods, like that's how they feed their family. I think that there does need to be some separation between lies and exaggerating and embellishment and having a serious conversation about a serious topic and a serious issue.
And she didn't like that Trisha was trying to insinuate something about Rosanna's character because of her friendship with Colleen.
Like, to judge someone based on, well, Tana's exaggerated, so she's a liar. It's hard to trust those people. Rosanna, you were friends with Colleen for 10 years. By that same logic, should I be judging you that you didn't engage in the same behavior Colleen did? How are you friends with someone and that close for so long, but it's crazy to say, but that's the same logic using for Tana. Oh, because she was like this, we're gonna be, oh, she might be a liar because she's exaggerated. Well, you're friends with Colleen, so are you engaging in that same behavior? Were you also like, should I have a hard time believing that you also weren't participating in the stuff Colleen was? Like,
Rosanna said Trisha knows that she didn't know anything about what Colleen was doing.
In her response, when she started talking about Colleen, she knows that I did not know about Colleen's behavior in any way or participate.
Overall, Rosanna said that she had the right to respond to Tana since she was dragged into the story. It seems like her issue is and always has been with Tana and not Trisha. She said multiple times over throughout this episode that she hopes to talk things out with Trisha and work things out with her because they were very close friends. Now, judging by the way Rosanna was speaking, doesn't sound like Trisha has responded to her private messages, and honestly, I have a feeling she may not. She did announce that she's pregnant with her third baby, so I could see her just not wanting to deal with any of this. I will say this video from Rosanna did feel much more level-headed and well thought out. You could tell that she had time to process everything and wasn't just speaking out in the heat of the moment. A lot of people in the comments also noticed this and pointed it out as well, writing, "I completely understood what you meant on your last episode. I could tell you were hurt. Here to support you, I hope you're feeling better." While I don't think you needed to make a whole sit-down video exposing Tana's lies, I'm all for people handling things privately. I do understand your point of view of most things you said. Embellishing is lying, and Tana should have never threw you under the bus in the first place. You had the right to defend yourself. I'm sorry, Rosanna, it wasn't right. I definitely see how Rosanna has a problem with Tana, and I'm glad she clarified that it wasn't really with Trish, because the comments Tana made were definitely questionable to say the least. It really does sound like her last video was coming from a place of hurt and wasn't done in an effort to attack Trisha. I personally never even took Rosanna's video as a direct attack on Trisha in the first place. It seemed more like disappointment that Trisha would go along with Tana, especially since Trisha usually is one to have her good friends' backs. She probably just felt really unsupported on such a sensitive topic. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about everything down below, and I'll see you next time.